Have you ever wondered why your avoidant ex, the one who said they needed space, who seemed cold, distant, and detached, is suddenly acting differently, but still hasn't said anything directly? You start noticing small, confusing things. They view your stories, like your posts, ask mutual friends about you, or randomly reappear in subtle ways. But still, silence. It feels like they're waiting. But for what? In this video, we're going to explore the hidden signs that an avoidant is secretly waiting for you to reach out, and the deeper emotional mechanism behind why they continue at first. So why avoidants wait instead of reach out? Let's start with something important. Avoidants don't hate love. They fear vulnerability. They were wired to associate closeness with loss of control. So even when they miss you deeply, their ego and nervous system still whisper, "Don't move first. Don't risk rejection." They'd rather sit in quiet longing than expose themselves to emotional danger. That's why they watch you in silence. They're hoping you'll bridge the gap for them. But remember, this isn't because they're cold. It's because their survival system was trained to believe that emotional distance equals safety. So when they're waiting for you to reach out, it's not pride. It's fear disguised as control. The first sign an avoidant is waiting for you is that they start creating soft entry points. Maybe they comment on an old post, send a random meme, or appear in places they know you notice them. It's their way of saying, "I still think of you." But they're hoping you'll do the emotional heavy lifting. It's like they're standing at the door, but holding their breath, waiting for you to open it first. They'll never say, "I miss you," but their actions whisper it. The second sign is what I call energetic orbiting. They might not text, but they stay energetically close, liking your stories, watching your updates, showing up through mutual connections, or even reappearing in your dreams. Yes, because emotional bonds exist beyond words. When you detach with love, your energy creates a calm field they can sense. Avoidants feel that peace, and they start to drift back into your orbit. Slowly, quietly, they're checking if your energy still feels safe. If they sense calm, they linger. If they sense pressure, they vanish again. Avoidants love to test safety before reaching out. They might send a neutral text like, "Hey, did you ever finish that project?" Or, "I saw something that reminded me of you." It sounds casual, but it's a safety test. They're asking, "Can I reach out without being punished? Will you be cold, angry, or warm?" If your response is calm and neutral, you've just passed their test, and that opens emotional doors. But if you show neediness or resentment, their walls rise instantly. Because to an avoidant, emotional intensity equals danger. Peace equals safety. When avoidants are waiting for you to reach out, they begin mirroring you subconsciously. If you post something deep, they might post something similar a day later. If you share something about healing or moving on, they might subtly respond with their own reflective post. They're trying to say, "I see you, I'm evolving too." But they don't know how to verbalize it. Mirroring is their way of staying connected without risking vulnerability. Many people think avoidants move on quickly, but often they don't. They might date, but they won't attach deeply again soon. Because once an avoidant truly connects with someone safe, their heart remembers it. They may try to move on externally, but emotionally, they're still orbiting you. That's why they don't fully commit, because deep down, they're waiting for the connection that felt different. They're not waiting for anyone to reach out. They're waiting for you. Here's the paradox. Avoidants wait for you to reach out because it gives them emotional control. They want reassurance without having to expose vulnerability first. They tell themselves, if they reach out, it means they still care. So it's safe for me to feel again. It's twisted, but it's how their nervous system keeps them safe. So when you don't reach out, they start to feel the loss more intensely. Not because of your absence, but because their illusion of control starts to crack. Here's the most important part. Just because they're waiting for you doesn't mean you should reach out, because when you do, you re-enter the same dynamic where you lead and they retreat. Instead, let time and silence become your mirror. Let them feel what it's like to want safety but not have it on their terms. Because only through that tension does true emotional growth begin. When they finally face the discomfort of missing you, their heart starts learning that love requires risk, not control. That's when they grow. When you hold your peace, the avoidant begins to experience something new. A safe loss. A space that isn't filled with pressure or drama, but also not filled with their control. They begin to feel the emotional gap. They start to question, what if I lose them forever? That's the moment their wall begins to tremble. And often, this is when they finally gather the courage to reach out, because your calmness created the safety that their fear never could. When the avoidant finally comes forward, you'll see it not in grand gestures, but in small, humble attempts. A simple text, a soft tone, a willingness to listen instead of defend. That's their version of emotional bravery. And if you meet it with compassion, not overgiving, not chasing, but grounded presence, you complete the cycle. You become the secure mirror that teaches love through peace, not pressure. Because sometimes, the most powerful thing you can do is let silence speak first.